everybody, this is Brian from Inspiring How You See That. We're here at Rock School Studios in Erie, Pennsylvania, and I'm here with one of my favorite bands and my friends. This is First to 11, and we'll introduce everybody. We've got the lead singer, we've got Audra Miller, we've got Sam Gilman, who plays drums and keyboard, Ryan Krysiak, who also plays guitar and has kind of built the band from the get-go, and we've got Matthew Yost, who's the lead guitar. So correct me if I'm wrong, you guys have released so far 2 original EPs, 4 cover albums that are full of covers, and then a Christmas album. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So kind of walk me through, just quickly, how you write a new song from scratch.
If there was a process, I'd walk you through it, but there isn't. We kind of bang on a couple guitars. Sam comes up with a pretty sick, just melody, and then we're like, we try to build off of that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of different every time.
Yeah, it's just so I don't know. Our writing process sucks and we're still trying to find a good one. So I don't really want to run you through something and people are like, yeah, let me take notes on that, because don't. You're not going to write anything. Because it's just so we just sit here. And then somehow at the end of the day, there's words on a page. Don't know how they got there, but that's just what, I feel like I just blank out every time we write.
Yeah, it's pretty scattered. We're just like, let's see if this works today. Try something new.
Nice. All right, now a lot of the comments that I've seen on the videos, people say that Paramore is kind of a band that they liken you to. Do you guys think that that's a fair comparison? And who do you think are bands or artists that you do kind of, your sound and style is influenced by?
We get a lot of Paramore.
I was gonna say,
the female
Paramore's
fronted rock
huge.
band is.
I think that's what they go to. It's a girl singing, so it's Paramore.
Yes.
That's like the underlying theme. I mean, I think
especially when we do Paramore covers, everybody's like, wow, it sounds just like them.
Yeah.
It's supposed to.
I think you kind of happen to sound a little bit like her too, so I get that. Other influences I think, or that maybe we get compared to, other just kind of rock pop bands, I don't know, I think a lot of times we say the band Paris is a big one that, at least we would.
I say
influences kind of.
I'd say they were more of an actual influence.
Yeah.
Whereas I think we all liked Paramore, but never really followed them as much as we did with Paris.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then we also get Against the Current a lot too, just because we do the YouTube stuff and
Gotcha.
the original stuff.
I feel like our influence is almost, we aim really high. So we're actually listening to a lot of top 40 stuff, a lot of Billboard stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But just our natural, we've listened to rock all our life, we've always played heavier music, just kind of makes us kind of come to that middle ground.
Yeah.
Where the Paramore, Paris's, Tonight Alive's, all those female fronted rock bands sit. So it's almost here's what we listen to, here's what our base is, what we naturally gravitate to, and then here's the middle where we kind of come together.
And that's been one of the interesting things, because a lot of the songs that you guys cover are pop songs, but you kind of have your own First to 11 rock sound to it. So is that kind of always been what you've shot for, to take those and kind of make it your own?
Yeah, it was kind of a conscious thing to cast a really big net, because pop music is the most popular music that there is.
Right.
So as it kind of gravitates away from traditional instruments like guitars, bass, drums, and stuff like that, it's kind of cool to have it come back to that style. So to hear a pop song with a real drum kit and real guitars and stuff like that is kind of where we appreciate and love that pop music, and it's amazing for what it is, especially in the writing sense. But then sometimes people just want to hear it with some emotion, with some guts behind it, and that's where the instruments can come in and kind of just take it to a place that maybe it wouldn't have went on its own. And we actually heard a lot from a Marshmello and Halsey and people that commented on our videos and stuff.
Nice.
And they said, when I was writing this song, I was originally thinking of it to be like this, but because it's pop and we have to do pop things, the instruments go away and we never actually get to hear it like that. So they were like, this is how I envisioned this song to be, and that's just what our covers kind of sound like.
Sure. Now, do you guys have more freedom when working on the LP? Can you make it the way you want it to be, or do you have to kind of, like you were talking about, make it more pop?
I think we've been just kind of doing it by yourself. We're really with some really great people who are very supportive of what it is that we want to do. And also I think it helps that most of the people that are kind of in this circle are like rock bands anyway.
Mhm.
So I don't think they're maybe entirely expecting us to come in with like a totally pop mindset, if that makes sense. But they're very just like communicative and like very open to whatever it is that we want to do. So yeah, to answer your question, we have a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But I find ourselves kind of falling into that kind of cover like mentality.
Yeah,
where,
I was
like,
gonna say.
we're
the
still
same.
writing like what we like, but we're still trying to cast that wide net. So a lot of the time, Sam mostly, but me and Sam will like write like musical stuff. We find ourselves going back to bands we like, heavier bands, you know what I mean, more guitar-centric bands. But when it's time to write lyrics, vocal lines, we're not listening to any
It's
like
all
heavier
pop
bands. It's
stuff.
all like top 40 stuff, what they're doing, how they're like, you know, song structure and how everything flows together and how they're, you know,
Yeah.
using, you know, lyrics to like inspire emotion. It's all pop stuff. So it's like that same mentality of like trying to cast like the biggest net possible.
Nice. Now, whether it's your own original music or a cover, what's your favorite song to perform live in front of fans?
It's a tough one.
That's so hard.
It might sound weird, but I actually like playing. I really like playing Uptown Funk, which is weird because
What?
like
Really?
I don't like that song's not like it's not like a super fun like song to play on drums or anything. But like we've had shows where like people like come on stage like they get so excited. Like,
Really?
people get
People go
so
nuts
into
over
it.
that song.
They like light themselves on fire when we play that song.
They do get really
Yeah.
excited when you play.
I'm like the complete opposite. My favorite is Congratulations by the Juliana Theory. And I scare people away when we play that song. I'll light myself on fire when we play that song. And people are like, this is not what I wanted to see
Not what I
tonight.
was expecting. I don't. This is so hard. I
Stump
think.
you with me.
I know. I think that like Uptown Funk and like Ain't It Fun and stuff are really fun to play live just because people like it
Mhm.
the most. But then when we play, I like playing Attention just because I like singing that song the best. So when we play that live, like it's like right in like that spot for me where I'm like, I know that this is gonna like sound good when I sing it. Like
Yeah.
no matter when we're playing it, like I just like singing that song.
Nice. I noticed when I seen you guys live, when you played Attention, you really kind of came alive with
Yeah, I
that song.
love that song. I
Yeah.
love singing that song. It's like perfectly in like my range. So it's just like I'm ready for it every time.
Nice. How about you, Ryan?
Carried Away is my favorite one to play live.
Okay.
It has like the most energy, like the choruses come in so hard. And then cover-wise, I think Friends.
I was about to say that.
Friends.
I've always
forgot
loved Friends. Like when we did that cover first, I was like, this is just like it's so smooth straight across. It's just like how that song, I don't know. It's just like so together. It's probably the most like cohesive thought cover that I've ever done. I was really, really happy with how it came out.
Very cool. Kind of on the flip side, what's a song that you guys have done that maybe challenged you the most or was kind of outside your comfort zone as a band?
Mine was for sure the Valentine's mashup.
Oh yeah.
That was super hard because I limited myself. Like, okay, all these songs have to be the same tempo and they all have to be in the same key and they all have to have the word love in them. Like,
Yeah.
I pinned myself into this, like, so I had to put it like down on paper where I was like, okay, which songs are at least like I can move their tempo to be this tempo, and what songs can I move their key to be in this key?
Right.
And then I like had to make like a Venn diagram of like which songs could potentially be all three of those things, and then tried to jam them all together.
It came out cool though. I mean, I was surprised at how it all flowed. As
That was like one of the worst viewed like anythings that we've ever done. And like when we try and upload it to Spotify, it just like explodes
doesn't.
the internet because they're like, who did this song? Who are we supposed to be paying for this? Like,
Yeah.
and it just, I don't think it's even on Spotify.
It's not.
No, it's not.
It's
It's like,
impossible to get
it's
on.
only on YouTube and on our cover CD.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, even recently, like the throwback covers we do, sometimes we get, I would say, I get a little challenged just because people like hold those in such high regard, like the nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
really don't want to
Yeah.
like let
I
people
was-
down. It's like when we recorded like Adam's song, for
That's
example.
what I was gonna say.
Like we re-recorded,
God.
we re-recorded Adam's song probably like almost a handful of times, just because we're like, I like it, but I think that like people on the internet, like big Blink fans, are gonna be not satisfied with this. So
Right.
Stuff like that for me is so hard because people are like, oh, you sound like Paramore and whatever, because I'm a girl singer.
Yeah.
So when I have to sing a pop punk guy singer song, I'm just like, what? Like, how do I do this? And like, so we just had to sit here, me and Matt were sitting here recording Adam's song, and I was just like coughing and like clearing my throat and like making my voice just sound terrible. So I could sing this cover because I was like, if I don't, it's going to sound bad.
It's gonna sound too pretty. You know?
Yeah.
Get that deepness, that gravel.
Yeah, so I'm just like coughing and like Matt's like, are you okay?
Like getting glimmer flow. I'm like, yeah, more. That makes it better. Come on.
So it was just like, it's so
Let me get
hard
some
for
milk.
me. Yeah, it's like, yeah, really. It was that song and Ocean Avenue were just so hard for me to sing because it's just like the complete opposite of my voice. So I'm always like, oh, this is like, I hope people don't hate this.
It was perfect though, because she's like sick at the time. She's
I
like,
was.
Matt, I don't have a voice. I'm like, perfect. We can start
We
recording.
gotta do the song now.
You're like, we gotta do it right
I just
now.
ruined it for like a whole week just trying to do this, but it turned out, so that's fine.
But what Sam said is like so true when it comes to like making sure those like like especially when you change something
Yeah.
with Throwback. So in Bring Me to Life, we replaced the
Oh, yeah.
like
The
male
rap.
rap
Yes.
part
Yeah.
to a solo.
Yeah.
And like personally, we don't like the rap part anyways.
Right.
But we know that people are gonna like hold it. So me and Ryan were like writing the solo, and we were like, we have to make this like good.
To make them
Like,
forget that that's
exactly.
not there.
I think
like
it
we gotta play
definitely
this with
works,
something
though.
equal.
You know what I mean? You gotta like match the energy, you know, match what the other one set,
Yeah.
the precedent it set, because when you change something that like of an old song people hold so dearly, even if you think it's better,
A lot of
oh
people
my
are
lord,
like,
oh my lord.
We've definitely been wrong a few times.
Yes.
Well, the cool thing with that song is I know Evanescence themselves don't like the rap part. And actually, when
Really?
they play it live, they will not do that part.
see?
And
They
You
should
were
do a
honest
cover
with
then.
from
that.
what I heard, the record label wanted them to have a lot more of that on the album, and they're like, no, so the compromise was just that song.
Wow.
So when they play it
Oh.
live, they don't, so you
Yeah.
guys got it right then.
See?
So everybody's
Yeah.
wrong if they tell you.
That's
I
good.
do.
I
I
agree.
faintly remember a version of that song that didn't have
I
that
do
other
too.
guy in there.
Yep.
And I can't find it now, but
I
I
remember
kind of
that.
remember that.
If you see them live, they won't do that part.
Ah. So we watched a bunch of videos because I was like trying to figure out whether they did it or not, because I knew that that was a dude from 12 Stones.
Yes.
So he wasn't obviously touring with them all the time. So I was like, who does that part when they do it live? And it's like their guitar player, and he nails it.
Right.
He does a good job.
Yeah. So cool. One thing I wanted to ask you, and here's one of the album covers. These are like a really cool kind of surrealist art style. How do you guys come up with this?
Okay, well,
All of them are kind of. I mean,
well, first of all,
We don't.
to anyone wondering, no, it's not Audra.
Yeah,
on there.
it's seriously-
I
Yeah.
thought it was.
People think on
Volume
one
one
and this
and two.
one that it's
Yeah.
me, and it's not. And
It
they're
does
like,
look
"Were
like
you
you."
smoking?" And I'm like, "No, it just looks like me. It's not me." So
Yeah.
just to clear things up, I was not smoking. It's not me.
So there you go. You can just forget that she was smoking. She wasn't.
Yeah.
It's not
all
me.
good.
It just looks like me.
So who does design those for you then?
Those, I was just like scrolling YouTube one day and found this video of like things you're not supposed to say to a bartender. And this Scottish girl named Hannah was the girl that did it. She's like a comedian. And so I started like following her, and then she posted a thing like, hey, does anyone need graphic design done? Like, I'm trying to get into it. And she posted some of her work that's all that surrealism like sort of stuff. And I was like, oh, well, let's use some of that for our cover CD. And she's done all four of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas.
And the Christmas one.
And the
Yeah.
Christmas one.
I think we took like an existing design for the first one, and then after that
Yeah.
we had custom ones for each. But every time we're just kind of like, just do what you do. Like we don't say like, oh, we're going for that. Like that's all off her brain.
And
It's
they
also-
end up so cool.
It's also like you don't really need to give a lot of direction because they're covers. If this
Yeah.
is like an original piece
Yeah, yeah.
of work, like, yeah.
It's so funny though, because like you see the comments of people being like, how do you guys think of this? And we're just asking that to her. Because like we got the Christmas CD back, it's like a big Santa eating the moon, and then like two gas masked kids on the ground. We're like,
Everybody's like, "What is going on in your head?" And we're just like,
we're just
"It's
like,
not
that
us.
ain't our head.
It's not us."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like some weird horror movie kind of feel.
But it's nice to like not have to think about that.
Yeah.
Like if we had to sit down and have a conversation and be like, well, I like this or I don't like this. It's really just cool to be like, here's some money, go do it.
Just trust
Yeah.
her. with it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And no one's been like, those are dumb, so.
Yeah, people really, I think people really like them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're cool. I mean, they catch your eye. They're very unique, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
So you guys have had probably some amazing experiences. I mean, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, everything that you've done. What are some of the coolest, I can't believe that just happened moments, whether it's celebrities or something that happened?
Okay, well, I think
We all
the
know-
first one, yeah,
We all know Sam's.
Wait, what do you think it is? Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, I thought we were all collectively gonna
Oh,
say
no.
when Kanye
I was gonna
West.
say Blake, 100%
Yeah.
for
No,
you.
that was mine. I'll tell it quick because I know it's only me and I'm alone in this. But we basically got to spend some time writing with like one of my favorite songwriter producers. He did the Paris records, and I'm
Okay.
like, and he does like the Wombats. He does like Boston Marriage. He does a lot of really cool artists that I like. Now that that's out of the way, I think everyone probably would agree that we just recently like commissioned a cover for the new Kanye West record, and his team like sent us some Yeezys, and
Nice.
that was like, they were like, hey, we're Kanye West team, you guys want to do cover? And I like screenshotted it, and I like sent it to them. I was joking, I was like, hey, like I'm gonna do this cover, like whatever. And then like we all looked at it the next day, and then we like emailed them back. They're like, no, it's real. And we were like, oh. Like okay.
Probably thought it was some Spanish guy.
Yeah, I thought it was some Spanish guy hacking my Spotify.
Yes.